how to turn a later model Garmin nuvi or any Garmin Drive or DriveSmart model off. Now you might be thinking, well, isn't it as easy as just pressing a button? Well, not really, because, okay, is it off? No, because if I press the button again, it just springs right back to life. They say, well, how can it do that if it was off? Well, it's because it wasn't off. It was in a sleep mode. If you want to turn this off all the way, you press and hold the button like this. And it asks you, do you want to turn it off? Now it's off. And when I go to reboot it now it's actually going to go through its entire boot cycle. And I'll show what happens also when it's plugged in a moment after this thing boots. But the deal with this is that the reason that later model nuvis and DriveSmart models do this, well, actually, before I explain that, here is what happens when the thing's plugged in. Okay, so right now it's powered, and if you have it connected to the car charger and you turn the car off, it does this. And what will happen after these 30 seconds, it says turning off right here. No, it doesn't. It goes into a sleep mode. And I'll just let this timer run out and I'll show you what happens. Is that the same thing as before, where if I just press the button, it springs back to life, meaning it was not turned off. It's actually in a sleep mode. And okay, so you think it's off? No, it just comes right back on. But if I press and hold the button, now I can go turn it off. And then I wait a few seconds, and then turn it back on and go through its whole boot cycle, which means it was completely off at that point. Okay, now the explanation. Why does it do this? Well, it's obviously not to preserve battery life. The main reason why it does that is, there's two reasons actually. It's so it boots really fast when it comes out of sleep mode. And the second reason is so that it will acquire satellite signal faster as well. Because if it's in a sleep state, then what it can do is, when it comes out of sleep state, it will use little mathematic program, whatever, inside of it that will be able to acquire the satellites faster. Now, the drawback to this is that if it's off like this, where it's not off, well, what happens is that if it sits like this for too long, the battery goes completely dead. And this can lead you to believe that this thing, the battery in this is terrible. Well, I'm not going to say the battery is great, because it's not. But if you do get into the habit of, when you leave the car, of just, before you turn off the car, if you just press and hold the power button, and then completely turn off the device like this, now it is not using any battery at all. So if you use your nuvi or DriveSmart infrequently, as in not every day, or if you just want it to have a little bit longer battery life where it's not constantly draining every time, just make sure it's completely off and you'll get some more battery life out of it.